You're mid-sentence in your head, narrating your own thoughts, like always, and then nothing. Silence. Your inner voice just stopped talking. What happens to your mind when the narrator disappears? This isn't science fiction. It's called Anendophasia, and researchers estimate up to 30 to 50% of people experience little to no inner speech at all. For some, it's lifelong. For others, it can vanish suddenly after brain injury, extreme stress, or neurological changes. Right now, someone reading this has never once heard their own thoughts. Stage 1. The first few minutes. You reach for a word, and it's not there. Normally, your brain narrates decisions. Should I turn left or right? Now there's just turning. No debate, no commentary, just action, instant and silent. Short term, it gets stranger. Studies on inner speech show it's tied to working memory, the mental sticky notes you use to hold a phone number in your head or rehearse what to say next. Without that inner narrator, you start relying more on images, feelings, and body sensations to think. Scientists call this unsymbolized thinking, knowing something is true without the words to explain why you know it. But here's the strange part. You don't necessarily feel dumber. Some people without an inner monologue report faster decision-making, less overthinking, less anxiety spiraling at 2 a.m. because there's no voice left to spiral with. And it gets worse, or better, depending how you look at it. Long-term, silence changes how you process emotion. Inner speech is linked to self-reflection, the voice that says, "Why did I do that?" after a mistake. Without it, some people describe emotions hitting more like weather, sudden, physical, and gone just as fast. No looping narrative attached. Here's the twist neuroscientists didn't expect. People without an inner voice aren't less intelligent, less creative, or less self-aware. Brain scans show they still activate language regions when thinking, just without producing conscious sound. Your brain can process complex thought entirely in silence. The voice in your head was never doing the thinking. It was just the subtitle track, running on top of a much deeper process you never actually needed to hear. So the real question isn't what would happen if your inner voice vanished. It's this: how much of you, your personality, your decisions, your inner life, actually lives in that voice? And how much was there all along, quietly working, long before it learned to speak? Because next time, we're going the other direction. What if your inner voice never shut up? What if it got louder, faster, impossible to turn off? Stick around.